Hey guys, I'm back up and running, got my computer working, and thought I'd go through my inbox again and see what kind of tutorials people wanted me to do, and an overwhelming response of them was to do a Netsky or Netsky type of bass. So I thought I would do the one in the song Lost in This World, because it's going to be able to teach you guys a new applicable situation in massive. Just like on the Camo and Crooked, we learned about like some macro control cool stuff you can do. We're going to be learning about the step recording right here. Performance recording right here, and how Netsky may have used this if he used massive at all. He could have just used knobs to do all of the little doodads, but we can achieve a pretty close sound to that. But remember, for my tutorials, it's the idea behind the sound that's more important than the actual sound itself. I'm not going to be able to make the sound exactly like his. He worked hours and hours and hours and hours on it, perfecting it, every little harmonic, when he turns a knob, bringing out a certain sound, cutting down the cutoff filter and all that. So I can't do that, but I can give you guys a cool little tool to use in future productions to make your own type of sounds. So I went ahead and just rewrote the MIDI sequence that he did, that I feel is the same as that one, and it goes like this. So that's what we're going to be working with, and it's probably not exactly like that just because of the harmonics, and he probably has some fifths in there. But let's first jam this level up to make it consistent. And another thing with a lot of drum and bass basses is to make sure that under voicing here you have it on monophonic. That's going to allow it, if you do chords on accident or something while switching through, that it won't play the other chords, and when those two frequencies come together, they won't ramp up your output into the red all of a sudden or something. So this keeps it at so everything's at kind of the same level. And then we have legato and legato triller, but that doesn't really matter right now. Also, I like to bring the time up a little bit here so it flows in between each one. And I really like doing that for drum and bass because the glide is awesome. Alright, but that's not the important stuff. The important stuff is over here in this performance deal. So you want to click on the performance, and this is just like an LFO filter, except you can give it a rhythm, a specific rhythm that changes, as opposed to the rate of an LFO constant, always being constant like this here. You know, this is constant over and over and over. Right here we can add guys up here and change like the little intricacies of each one. So we'll go ahead and we'll load curves, and this will allow us to put any type of curve that we want, and we can click this one here and have them all ramp up. And the neat thing about this is you also have this one down on the bottom here, which we can choose another like ramping up type thing. So what that's going to do is, if we want it to be longer, we can have a knob that allows it to go whop, 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 whop. And then if we want it to be shorter, like staccato, bip, 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 blah, blah, blah. So we can go in between those two, which I believe he does in the song too, among a ton of other things. So what we'll then do is we'll assign this performance tab over to filter. And we'll just put that on low pass forward. Doesn't really matter at the moment. So let's bring that up, and it'll tell how much it goes up to each cutoff. Click on load curve again to close it, and we have a rate just like our LFOs over here. So this should give us a pretty interesting, we don't know what the rate is yet, so let's go ahead and listen to that. On the first oscillator, we can put it all the way to filter 1, and then bring filter 1 all the way up here. Okay, so we can hear it kind of doing its thing, but the rate is a little too slow to notice. In the song Lost in This World, the rate that he has is kind of like a late triplet thing, like kind of right after the beat or something. So we got to see if we can find that. That sounds pretty much spot on. And then now we have our X fade sequencer, or whatever that is, and this is going to go between the top one here and the bottom one here. Thing is, you can see when you go down it's connected to all these guys, so you have to make sure these guys are lit up. You can even choose which ones you want it to affect. That's kind of neat. So this one down here is going to be more staccato. Let's get all these guys up to the top. And then as we move it higher, then we can make it longer. Also, adjusting the cutoff up here will make it more noticeable. And the resonance. So you can see now how flexible you can get with it. If you loaded curves and wanted to do little triplet guys, you can put those in there. Yeah, that's hilarious. Alright, but we'll keep it like this for now. Also, to give variation amongst it, each one, then you can kind of bring them down, like maybe you do with hi-hats or something. And that just makes it sound, I guess, more human-like. Even if you don't really notice it, it does. That's right. Alright, so just like before, in the Camo and Crooked one, we can start adding stuff. You could tell, like I said at the beginning, that we're not exactly trying to get the sound, but we're trying to get the feeling behind it, and we want to use this performance LFO to really shape our sound, as opposed to just using the LFO right there. So let's bring in some other sounds here, and that's going to be going through, we'll put it on a fifth, no, we'll put it on a third. That's going to be going through the low pass also, because we have it way up here. And then we can just kind of blend it And then we have our filter 1 here. When we go to routing, after filter 1 is going to be one of our effects inserts. Actually, insert down here. So we can manipulate that. Also, our effects is actually coming at the end there, so that's no big deal. So we can go to our insert and add different stuff there to shape this. Give it a little more depth, and then effects and all that. Reverb. And then because we're doing all of this on filter 1, when we put our sub in, we'll want to put our sub down on filter 2. We could also put a low pass on that and bring the cutoff around here. I'll put that on like sine wave or square wave, sine square if you want, and then drop that down to like 24. And then I don't know if you guys can hear that. If you have a subwoofer, you'll definitely be able to hear that. And then that's going to keep like a consistent sub underneath it. And on the EQ over here, you can bring up the highs a little bit, drop the frequency to focus on the sub more, because you can really fill the sub in Netsky, Netskies type of stuff, and boost it a little bit, boost the low shelf as well. So lots of cool stuff you can do with that. Just keep messing around with it. Like before, put things on macro controls. Put this cutoff also on a macro control, so you can adjust this if you want to bring in another synth, like a mid-range pad synth or something. Mess with the resonance. Hook that up to a macro as well, like that. And maybe resonance over here. Bring that down. Go up there. The volumes for each of these oscillators, as opposed to the sub. I'm going to put another 3 on here. Then you can control them both, giving them both a feel, or separate them, and then one for the sub, which is probably always going to be all the way up because sub is awesome. Yeah, and then your effects, of course, dimension expander. For your insert 2, this will be only on your oscillator 3, which is your sub. So we make sure that maybe the insert 2 is over here for filter 2, because that's where the sub's going. And then you have your insert 2, but maybe we want to put it before, because we want this cutoff for the sub to make sure that nothing gets out. And then we can jam some crazy stuff, like we could bit crush it or hard clip it. We can hard clip it to make sure that it's always super full, raw, and then afterwards the filter's still gonna catch it, so no like artifacts get out. Whoa, that is a beast sub right there. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna remember this. EQ we did, cool. So I think everything is pretty much set up. I really hope that this helps out the guys that wanted the Netsky Netsky type of sound. I know they want the sound, but I want to give them the tools to be able to create the sound. And then with this knowledge right here, you just start messing with different waves. Listen to that. Oh my god. See? I'm just clicking random stuff right here, already getting like beast mode sounds. So mess with it, guys. Have a lot of fun. Watch the video over again. Also, before I end this video, I want to ask you guys if you want me to save these patches and maybe like put them up on Mediafire or something. I just go through these videos and create these sounds and then just like delete it, because you know I have the idea behind them, so I know I can just recreate it again if I ever wanted to and give it a little spice. But a few guys have asked me through the inbox if they could get the actual massive files for it. So if there's a big enough response for that, then I'll just start collecting these and I can put them together or something. Well, it's glad to be back. I hope these helped you guys out, and if you have any questions, go ahead and post in the comments or send me a inbox message. I reply to those a lot more than on the videos, and I hope you guys have a ton of fun with this. Peace.